FastLane is 11 days away, and we have a lot to go over, so let's get to it. First off, the SmackDown Women's Championship as Asuka defends against Mandy Rose. Mandy recently defeated the SmackDown Women's Champion, and now this match is official. And honestly, I do not know if Mandy can do it again. I really don't know. Sonya Deville will be ringside for this match, so it's possible. But this is Asuka we're talking about, and this seems like a more of a filler match just because Asuka has nothing going on SmackDown because of the Charlotte Ronda stuff going on right now. So I'm not saying Mandy can't pull off the upset here. She already did it on SmackDown. I doubt she'll do it again. I will pick Asuka to retain, but I will not be surprised if Mandy can pull off the upset. It will be the biggest win of her career. In fact, the match before this was the biggest match of her career and biggest win of her career by beating Asuka in the first place. So that says something in itself. The women's tag titles are on the line as the Boston Hug Connection, Sasha Banks and Bayley face the Samoan Slaughterhouse and Nia Jax and Tamina. This, again, is more of a filler thing because, for them to be the first ever women's tag team champions, even though this title has been around since the 80s, let alone the 50s, let alone originally being part of the NWA, when WWE was still a part of it at that time, even in the 60s at that point. It is interesting just to rewrite history like that, but, we have to have first evers. They're going to run them eventually, so let's just let them have it at this point. But again, Sasha and Bayley will retain unless Sasha turns on Bayley, and then we have the match at WrestleMania that we should have had last year. That's the only way they could lose the title in my mind, but it is what it is. And finally, the Hemp title has a new challenger, as Captain Planet himself, Daniel Bryan, defends against Kevin Owens. The reasoning for this is Vince McMahon changed his mind on the night of the contract signing for Kofi Kingston to have his first world title match in 11 years, one-on-one. Changing it to have Kevin Owens, the returning Kevin Owens, mind you, from double knee surgery, to have this match. Which, I'm not saying Kevin doesn't deserve it, it's just, how can you take that away from Kofi? How can you do that? It makes no sense. But nonetheless, we have this match, and I would say that Owens wins the title because, again, this belt is a biodegradable belt. I doubt it will make it all the way to WrestleMania. But if it doesn't happen and Kofi gets involved, we could have a triple threat at WrestleMania at that point. And speaking of WrestleMania, before we go off here, Ronda Rousey basically forfeited the Raw Women's Championship after Becky Lynch was arrested on Raw. Which means next week Charlotte has the potential to become the new Raw Women's Champion. And all of this was basically for nothing, just to get the title off Ronda so she could have her fucking kids. But it'll be interesting what happens there, especially with the return of Batista last couple nights ago on the 70th birthday of my estimation, the greatest wrestler of all time, Ric Flair. But WrestleMania is starting up. WrestleMania's plans are already in fruition. And it'll be interesting to see what happens next week, let alone the next few days.